The Wayback Machine, 1965, Elizabeth Montgomery and Dick York in Bewitched. Samantha Stevens in Bewitched is probably the first lady superhero to make it to television, well before Wonder Woman or any others. Now, although she plays a witch, of course, defined cinematically in the realm of very fictionalized witches having nothing to do with practitioners of actual witchcraft or of Wicca, she has all of these phenomenal sort of superpowers. She can teleport, make things appear out of nowhere, make them disappear, move from place to place. You know the story. In that sense, she is a superhero figure, but also culturally, being 1965, the series actually begins in black and white, and there is a narration. There is a narrator who begins with the pilot episode, emphasizing that they are an ordinary couple, young American boy, young American girl, ordinary coupling, dating, falling in love, getting married, living in the, eventually, after the pilot, the suburban home they buy, crafting the landscaping. Everything is sort of the standard American dream of 1965. But then again, Samantha has these powers. And in the kind of conflicts that she will find herself in the sort of social dissensions she finds herself in, she will have these powers to fall back on at a time when many women were powerless in those circumstances. Now, in the pilot episode, apparently former possible love interest of Darren's is a bit jealous at his marriage to her, invites them to a party that she assures them will be very casual, potluck, and nothing fancy. And so Samantha arrives not dressed up, and of course to find that it is an upscale dinner party that has been thrown with the intention of making her look bad. She has been deceived into the nature of it. Now, again, this is very standard 1965 social convention for middle or upper middle class people. Samantha then finally, getting enough of being snubbed, uses her powers to attack her hostess in ways that are also culturally relevant, messing up her hair, making her look foolish, having the wind howl in and blow her dress up, ways to embarrass another woman in a very womanly sort of conception of 1965, the sorts of social tension and bickering that they would do with one another. But Samantha, being in that role of the every woman who had ever been in a situation that felt helpless socially or being put upon or being put down within the cultural context, wished they had the power to strike back. And so the show immediately takes on an interesting character of she's a superhero doing with her power things others might wish and fighting the good fight against things which are bad in that sense. But she's doing it well within the context of a sort of an accepted femininity of the time and an ordinary everyday life of the time, which makes different the level of suspension of unbelief. She's not Wonder Woman. She's not lassoing people and pulling buildings down and jumping over, outrunning trains and doing all of that. It's much more down to earth, and yet at the same time, with a twitch of her nose, anything might happen. So it really is a fascinating, timely piece for the era, yet progressive in its own way, but interesting and fun to watch. I grew up on the color reruns of the later episodes after school, but I think it's the first time I actually went back and saw the old black and white early episodes from the beginning of the series. Bewitched. Overall, I highly recommend it. It was always fun. It was after school. It was part of what was called the Power Hour, the half hour of I Dream of Jeannie and the half hour of Bewitched at that time. Anyway, have a great day.